Have you ever felt convicted? I'm talking about you do something and someone holds you to account and you realize that they're right and you feel convicted. Or you go through life and you read a scripture and you realize that somehow God is talking right to you in that moment through that and you feel convicted. This passage convicts me. But this is really the place where Jesus goes down and ticks off a whole lot of life lessons at once. And after he finishes up what we know as the Beatitudes, he goes into this little sermon, this little list of how it should be to live, and what it means to live not just as someone in the world, but as a Christ follower. And I gotta admit to you, I like the idea, but when it comes to embodying it, love your enemies? Can I love them by kicking them down the stairs? All the things Jesus tells us to do, he gives us the response that's entirely counterintuitive. Don't give, don't lend with the expectation of getting anything back. Love your enemies. In fact, don't just love them, pray for them. Do good to people who hate you. Bless those who curse you. I don't think that is our instinct today. Have you seen road rage videos? It's good advice, but it's backwards. Backwards from what the world teaches, at least. So we have to remember what exactly it means to be a Christ follower. The point is, Jesus is never what we expect him to be. And the more we think that God is on our side, the more we may need to re-examine whether or not that's true. Because the God revealed through Jesus is the God who turns the world upside down to turn it right side up again. So I don't know. I guess we need to try harder to follow Jesus' direction here, to love our enemies, to do our best to make it through difficult times when folks give us hard times. That's hard for us, for a lot of Christians, because some of us are so convinced that we've got it right that we feel like we can lecture other people on what they've got wrong. The scripture, if it tells us anything, is that that's not the way. So if we're going to follow in the way of Jesus, we're going to do what he says in Luke 6. If it convicts you today, let it. If it convicts you tomorrow, let it. For the scriptures themselves today alone say forgive, and you'll be forgiven.